Let's shift gears, shall we?
Okay.
Where African-American actors are taking the Broadway world by storm, and the Black Men of Broadway will be honored at Carnegie Hall to celebrate 100 years of influence and legacy.
Here with more on the Black Tie fundraiser are Broadway stars Chapman Roberts and Norm Lewis. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
To the show.
So the fundraiser is called the Black Stars of the Great White Way. Now, what will be going on that evening?
Well, you're going to see a lot of African-American men who have past, present, and future who are going to get up there, do their thing, and you're going to find out information about what black men have made, you know, the marks they've made on Broadway.
Because actually we have a 100-year history at Carnegie Hall, a 100-year history on Broadway, and it's also celebrating the 40th anniversary of The Wiz.
Wow, 40th anniversary.
It's been 40 years.
Wow.
And several people tell me, well, that was the first Broadway show I saw. I said, it was 40 years ago.
Wow.
It seems like it was more recent than that. So we have Cicely Tyson presenting the Black Stars of the Great White Way Award to Stephen Bird, who's the most prolific Broadway producer in the history of the world. He produced Romeo and Juliet, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Trip to Bountiful with Cicely Tyson. And Felicia Rashad is going to present the Black Stars of the Great White Award to Jeffrey Holder. So it's going to be an exciting night. Ben Vereen is going to present, Chia Rivera is going to present, and all the people on stage. We have 7 Tony Award winners from the original cast of Dreamgirls, Five Guys Named Mo, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Scottsboro Boys, Motown, Kinky Boots. They're all going to be there.
Yeah.
So we can expect some killer performances that evening,
Indeed,
right?
we're going to raise the roof of Carnegie Hall.
Raise the roof.
Including Norm Lewis.
What will you be performing?
Well, I'm going to do stars from Les Miserables.
Really?
Classic, okay.
Really quickly, Kerry Washington's character, Olivia Pope, was wrong for not choosing you.
That's what I say.
I'm seeing it up close,
That's what I
ladies.
say.
You got it wrong, Olivia.
Kick me
You
to the
got it
curb.
wrong. Edison's
so
the
funny.
man. Okay. Back to this event. How much money are you hoping to raise this evening?
We don't have a slightest idea how
Okay.
much. We don't have a
Blank
slightest
checks,
idea.
that's all you need.
We've got our
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, what will it be benefiting then? However much you do raise on Monday.
A lot of arts programs that are in New York and also around the country.
Harlem School of the Arts,
Yeah.
Negro Ensemble Company, the Mouse Repertory Theater, the Richard Allen Center for Culture and Art, Alabama State University. They're all involved. And if you want to buy tickets, you can go to carnegiehall.org, or you can go to George Faison's Firehouse, where you get a 30% on your tickets. You can also go to the Richard Allen Center for Culture and Art and get a 30%, the Harlem School of the Arts, 30% discount on the tickets. And it's Monday, January 23rd at Carnegie Hall at 8 o'clock. And it is black tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So dress to impress.
Very black tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yes, very black tie. Speaking of black.
Nice transition.
Nice segue.
The Tonys were very brown this year. What do you attribute that to? And do you think that it's a passing phase or something that's here to stay? Will we see this level of diversity in years to come?
Well, I'm hoping, because even last year we had a leading actor win for musical, Billy Porter, and we also had Patina Miller, who won for lead actress in a musical.
Pippin.
And Pippin, yeah.
Yes.
And so we're hoping that that trend continues, because, you know, we are kind of left behind a lot of times, and now we're making more of a mark.
Fame is also fleeting. Fame is also fleeting.
Yes.
Because if you saw the Tonys, and I was there, and Norm was there, it was exciting. After midnight, opened and left splinters on the stage, but they're closing
I know.
in 2 or 3 weeks. So nothing is written in stone. This is the fickleness of our business, and that's why we're celebrating what we've accomplished over the 100 years on Broadway and at Carnegie, because nothing is guaranteed. It's so fleeting, and the idea that you're putting forth can work for a minute. The next thing, they turn their heads and they don't see you anymore. So we're bringing it all back from the past and putting it in one spot at the same time.
Now, do you think it's particularly more difficult for actors of color, or do you think it's just a difficult business in general?
Well, it's a difficult business in general, but it is definitely difficult for actors of color. But, you know, we're making strides right now, and there's a lot of people like Brian Stokes-Mitchell, Alton White, people who are crossing the color line. Like even myself, I've played Javert in Les Miserables before. Right now I'm playing Phantom on Phantom of the Opera. So, you know, we're making baby steps, but hopefully it'll get bigger.
It's also difficult because black audiences don't support the black artists themselves. They've got to come out and support us.
Do you think that's still true?
Oh, I know it's true. I've been on
Really?
Broadway for 50 years. I've seen it several times over.
But what do you attribute to the success of 2 revivals of Raisin in the Sun.
Well,
Black
success is
theatergoers came
relative.
out in droves to see
Success
that.
is relative. The show that he's in has been running for 26 years. If we accept as success that a black show runs for 2 years, we're fooling ourselves.
Oh, okay.
So what is it going to take to get more black audience members into the theater?
I think it's shows like yours where you say, come out and support us. Let's do it. We have the opportunity to have all of those people in the room at the same time for the first time, and it's at reasonable prices. There are $35 tickets, $45 tickets, $65 tickets, and they're the more high-end tickets, but they're more inexpensive tickets than there are the others. And once again, it's carnegiehall.org, June 23rd at Carnegie Hall.
But historically, Broadway hasn't been as welcoming to audiences of color. Do you think that's changing? If you provide theater goers with something that speaks to them, then they will come.
I'm not sure about that because I was in the original cast of Hair in 1968. That was a long time ago. And there were 9 of us on the stage. When we would go out to the audience, the reason I was in the show was because I went to see the show, and 3 weeks later I was in it because I decided to do it. The idea is Ebony didn't come, Jet didn't come, the Amsterdam News didn't come. We did not get the support from our own communities, and they would say, well, you know, they don't come down here. And I would say, but no, I see them on 42nd Street going to the $3 movie. It's not true. The black community does not support the black community, and that's why the black community of artists, and that's why the shows don't survive. For instance, this show that we're doing at Carnegie Hall was turned down by the Apollo.
Really?
But they did us a favor because now we're at Carnegie Hall.
So what was the rationale? Why did they
I think it was
turn it down?
lack of foresight. Lack of foresight. But the community can come and support us on Monday. It seats 2,800 people. There are plenty of seats left. We're looking forward to that last-minute rush, which very often happens. But it's important that they come out and see what their history is.
And another thing that everyone should come support is your run in The Phantom of the Opera. Like you said, it's been on for 26 years, but you're the first African-American actor to play the title role. How does that make you feel, and what took so long?
I don't know. I mean, I'm the first to play it on Broadway. Robert Guillaume played it in Los Angeles 20-some-odd years ago, so I stand on his shoulders. But I don't know. I wish I knew that answer, but I'm glad that it's happening now, and we have had an increase of color in our audiences. So
there have been blacks playing non-traditional roles before. Melba Moore replaced Diane Keaton in Hair in 1968.
Oh, she did?
She certainly did. And I was in a company of Hello Dolly with Pearl Bailey and Cab Calloway in 1970, which was about a Jewish family in Yonkers, and they didn't change a word in the script. So it has been happening. It hasn't gotten as many accolades as it should, and it can happen more often. It's been happening for a long time, but now he's getting the kind of accolades that he should.
Do you predict that it will get even better for black actors in the future?
I think it will get better for everybody because people's eyes are open to once he can do what he does and once they've seen what we can do. So what was I doing in the first place? I think it's going to get better for everybody.
All right.
All right, the Black Stars of the Great White Way on Monday at Carnegie Hall.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
All right,
joining us.
there.
Both.
Get your tux ready.
I know, I'm ready.
I've got a dress. All right.
See you there. Thanks,
Great.
guys.
Looking
All right.
forward.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.